Hi, I'm BK, and this is my review of the new Ibanez Quest 7-string. Let's do it. Oh my goodness, it has been far too long, well, since I made a video, but also since I ordered this guitar. I ordered this back in July, I think, and it finally arrived mid-January, and I'm so excited about it. If you didn't know, this is part of the new Ibanez headless series called the Quest series. This is the only 7-string that they have in this line so far. Most of the other stuff is kind of more like Strat-like, although they have some more like metal humbucker equipped guitars. But this thing is a thing. It's a good thing, don't get me wrong, I love it. But it comes with some caveats. But let's get into the specs first. So the name for this, in keeping up with Ibanez's tradition of smashing a keyboard to come up with guitar names, is the QX527PB. It's a QX52 because that's what they're calling this body shape with dual humbuckers. As long as it has the slanted frets, they have the 6-string version, which is just the QX52. It's the 52-7 because it's 7-string, obviously, and PB because it is this wonderful poplar burl top on top of a Nyato body. I'm totally not sure if that's how you pronounce it. I'm going to pronounce it Nyato because, I hate myself. And this finish is actually a satin polyurethane, and it's actually a pretty thin finish. It doesn't feel like a normal traditional polyurethane finish. It feels pretty raw, actually, and I really like that. It feels a little bit more natural. So the neck is a 5-piece roasted maple and Bubinga mix. It is a 25.5-inch scale. It is not a multi-scale, like I said in my original video. I'm pretty dumb, and my eyes deceive me. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking with it. It is a pretty flat 20-inch radius fretboard, and the neck profile is what they're calling a parallel wizard. It's a kind of a wizard-ish neck, but it's a little bit fatter. It's still a very flat neck on the back, though. So your thumb it's not very rounded. If you're looking for more of a traditional Fender or Gibson style neck, this is not it. Even like my Aristides has a much more rounded neck on it, so it takes a little getting used to. Maybe that's your thing. It's a very shredder neck. It is a 24-fret roasted bird's eye maple fretboard. It's very beautiful, and it has those weird slanted frets. Like I said, it's not a multi-scale. The frets are all just slanted at 8 degrees, and it takes some getting used to, but we'll go into that a little bit later. The pickups are Ibanez designed Q58 humbuckers. And they're basically just knockoff bare knuckles. There's a lot of mid-range to them, very high output, but still very musical sounding. Control-wise, you have a master volume, a master tone, a normal Ibanez 5-way blade pickup, and also what they have called an alter switch. It seems to be kind of sort of a coil tap, as well as just a variation switch. So, for example, it will have some different pickup configurations. The Ibanez website kind of has some weird diagrams that they're not really totally sure what they're saying. I don't know. So I've had this guitar for a couple of weeks now. I did that intro song, and I also played it at church last week. It sounds very interesting. It's not a bad sound. It's definitely more in the metal, proggy, techie realm. You're not going to be getting a Strat sound out of this, but I don't think if you're buying this, you're looking for a Strat sound. Buy a Strat if you want a Strat. This is much more metal sounding. It's still very usable in a lot of situations. The cleans are actually very crisp. I quite like them. And with all the different pickup configurations, you can really find any tone you need, but I wouldn't say it does a specific tone perfectly. It tries to be much more of a master of none, jack of all trades deal. So if you're looking for a specific sound, you're probably not going to find it. If you're looking for a good all-around guitar, if you can get over the weird frets, then this might be something you want to look into. The weird frets take a little getting used to. Not so much where it's like you don't know where you're playing, or like you don't have to relearn your muscle memory or anything like that, but especially up higher on the fretboard, if you're trying to do chords, fingering can get a little tricky. It's not very conducive to bar chords higher up on the frets, but this is definitely, it's marketed more towards lead playing. That's just something to think about. My least favorite thing about this guitar is actually the case that it comes with. For a guitar that costs $1,200, it comes with one of the shittiest cases I have ever seen. Even my $500 Paul Reed Smith SE guitars came with a much better case. This is the kind of case that would belong on a $300 Ibanez, not a $1,200 Ibanez. They really, really should not be shipping them with these cases, especially because this guitar, quite frankly, seems a little bit more fragile. It's a thin guitar. There's not much there keeping it safe. It's a little concerning. So if you're going to get it, I'd say get a better case. This guitar also seems somewhat temperature sensitive. I've noticed that once it's like staying at a consistent temperature, it stays in tune very well. But for example, I went to church and, well, it was in a case, and then it wasn't in a case, and it's tuned it up at the beginning, and it was good. But then as it started to heat up, it started to go out of tune pretty badly. So I just retuned it, and it stayed in tune. So that's another thing to watch out for. Another issue with this guitar is that the pickups are pretty microphonic, meaning that they kind of pick up a lot of noise, not just interference, but also just noise of the guitar itself. If you touch the pickups, you're going to hear it, even at low gain volumes. Anytime you switch the pickup selector, it's going to make a little bit of a noise, and it's kind of concerning. Plus, you can kind of hear the springs holding the pickups in through some chugging, whereas like normally it's kind of noise should be dampened. It's a little bit more pronounced than I would like. Let's get into some tone talk right now. As you heard in the beginning of this video, this guitar is much more aligned towards the metal tech sounds. Very good for the gent kids. Also really good leads. All the tones in this video were generated from my Helix, using the same patches I use for all my other guitars. I really didn't do much tweaking on it. And I was actually very surprised with how well the guitar handled cleans through just the stock Fender Twin sound. But this guitar definitely is more for metal. All in all, what are my thoughts? I really like the guitar. I'm pretty glad that I bought it. If given the choice, would I buy this over, say, used Strandberg, which can sometimes be had at the same price? I don't know. Same thing with like maybe a used Kiesel or something. I don't think that this brings anything super new to the table in the headless realm. The frets are an interesting idea. I don't see them being very much of a deal maker, but I also don't see them being much of a deal breaker. I'd say if you can get your hands on one to try it out, definitely try it out first, because you might find what you want in this guitar. For me personally, as my first foray into the headless realm, I think it's a pretty interesting choice. I'm probably going to keep it. Who knows, maybe in a few months I might decide to sell it and just put the money towards like a Kiesel or a Strandberg or something. But for now, I'm going to enjoy it. So thank you for watching this video. This is something more I want to get into, doing gear reviews and stuff, simply because I'm a gear whore. Fight me. You can find me at Twitch at twitch.tv/BK_VTuber, where I try to stream semi-regularly, making music and playing games. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Dislike it and don't subscribe if you hated it. I totally will understand. But anyways, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Peace.